So is Arty Moreno the owner of the Angels of Anaheim? Is he crazy? Sounds like it. Let's talk about it. Hey gang, hope you're doing well. I got a lot of important Yankee updates for you. But first of all, I want to talk about this man right here, Arty Moreno. Okay, I guess he was interviewed recently, and he said the main reason why he did not trade Shohei Ohtani at the trade deadline is because he was worried about the second half ticket sales. This man had an opportunity to get a massive haul back for a guy that he knew he was not going to re-sign, and he was more worried about a couple $1,000,000 that he could have made in the ticket sales instead of getting a historic return for this franchise player, this generational player, and probably changing the fortunes for the Angels a heck of a lot more differently than it would have been to keep him. Maybe they would have been more competitive in this division now. Maybe he could have parlayed that too and made other moves, right? But now, you may even lose Mike Trout for all we know. Your franchise player. Tiny was the shiny new toy, right? Trout was the franchise player. But if you're not going to surround Trout with anybody, and you still have guys that are available, Matt Chapman, you've got even Blake Snell, you've got Cody Bellinger, you can surround Mike Trout, a lot of these guys. But that man right there standing next to you, giving you the fist bump, Shohei Ohtani, okay? You had an opportunity to get a historic return for him, and you were worried more about the second half ticket sales. That to me is insane. I want to know what your thoughts are. And make sure, gang, we're going to keep talking about stuff like this. Every day is going to be new news coming out and all different things to talk about in spring training. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss anything. Hit the notification button too. That way you're always in front of the line when news comes in. And if you enjoy the content, hit the thumbs up as well. I thank you so much for it. But this is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I think it's a terrible mistake. Now he signed with the Dodgers, and it is what it is. So let's pivot to some better news. This man, Carlos Rodon, the man who the Yankees signed for 6 years, was it $162 million? 2 off seasons ago, and he had a pretty rough first year in his Yankee debut. It looked like he came into the spring not in shape, and it kind of hurt him. He didn't have a full spring. He never really had a full build-up for the season, so it affected him in the spring. It affected him in the season. And he was also topping out at 90 to 92 for his velocity in terms of his fastball. Well, now he's topping out at 97 already, 98. Okay? And huge difference. He's also about 35 to 40 pounds leaner and looks a hell of a lot fitter. So it's not like he's going on the grapefruit diet and trying to lose all of his weight. He's actually leaner and fitter and in much better shape. He's topping out at 97. That's a massive difference. Absolutely massive difference. So I'm excited about him. I'm excited about Nestor Cortez. Okay. He interviewed Eric Marakovich yesterday. He said he had a good offseason. He's in shape, and he's planning to have a 28 to 30 start season. So, and if that's the case, then the Yankees are a much better position than the starting rotation. Okay. And hopefully Clark Schmidt will take his next step in development as well. And hopefully Carlos Rodon will get even if it's 160, 170 innings pitch with a mid to high 3 ERA. I'll take that over what we got last year. That would make him less of a bust. I think it would make it a heck of a lot more tolerable behind Garrett Cole. And I'm also expecting good things from Marcus Stroman. I have a really good feeling about him. He had an interview yesterday. He gave out a lot of good vibes, and he was pretty outspoken and pretty upfront about how much he wanted to be here and how happy he was. And really, really, really exciting. Really, really exciting. So you got him, you got a reinvigorated Carlos Rodon, and a healthy Nestor Cortez to go along with our ace Garrett Cole and a developing Clark Schmidt. And then we're also hearing that the Yankees are in on Hyun-Jin Ryu. Okay, why are we hearing about him this much? Well, number one, you could probably get him on a 1 year deal at a decent rate. But the second reason John Heyman's talking about him a lot is because he's a Scott Boras client, and it's almost as if John Heyman works for Scott Boras. So, I would keep an eye out on Hyun-Jin Ryu as added rotation depth, added long relief depth, or whatnot, just more innings to go complement a guy like Luke Weaver. And he's got experience in the AL East, and he pitches lefty, so it can give the Yankees another look in the starting rotation and the bullpen. So it's somebody I would keep my eyes out for in Rio right now. And And speaking of lefties too, Jordan Montgomery. I mean, speaking of Scott Boras clients, I mean, his looks like Boras might have misread the market for him. Now, he's not tied to a qualifying offer because he was traded at the deadline. So he does not come with 2 draft picks and forfeiture of $1 million in international money. He doesn't, none of that stuff is tied to him like it is with Blake Snell. So could a guy like Jordan Montgomery take a 1-year deal somewhere? Maybe. Does it make sense for him to, the Yankees? I don't know. I mean, Brian Cash was talking with the boys yesterday from Talking Yanks, and he said that they were in on Monty, they were in on Snell, but it didn't. One of the problems is they had to wait forever for the Yoshinobu Yamamoto market to develop, and the waiting game for him to decide, and so on and so forth. And what we found out yesterday also is that the Yankees were actually the runners-up. Yamamoto. It was not the Mets, who actually put out the same offer, $325 million, that the Dodgers did. The Yankees put out 10 years, $300, but they were the runner-ups, not the Mets. Remember, these teams do not know what the other team's offers are until after the fact. So it's not like the Yankees knowingly lowballed him, and that's not a lowball. They offered him a higher AAV than any other team did. So they wound up being the runners-up, and Brian Cashman was given a little bit more details. And when they went out to meet Yamamoto in LA, said it was just, the penthouse suite and so on and so forth. And he was being courted by the Dodgers and meeting multiple teams. And the weather was absolutely perfect. So, and then when Yamamoto came to New York to meet with the Yankees there, it was cold, it was windy, it was rainy. The weather was just awful, absolutely awful. So that definitely did not work in the Yankees' favor. But he also said that they felt like they did everything they could to bring this man here. And the fact that they were runners up over the Mets, who offered $25 million more, says a lot about the Yankees' efforts. Again, it's not like they didn't try. They tried to get Snell. He said no. They tried to get Yamamoto. He said no. Okay, they pivoted to Marcus Stroman. So, the talks about Cashman being asleep at the wheel, the Yankees not being aggressive enough, is not true. They did all they could. Okay, and they didn't want to trade Spencer Jones for Corbin Burns. Well, they also asked for Spencer Jones and Chase Hampton. They're 1 and 3 prospects. The prospects that the Orioles traded for him, and we've said this multiple times, the prospects that the Orioles traded for him were blocked at their positions. So, and now, for those that haven't seen, I put this up yesterday, Spencer Jones, in the more recent top 100 prospect rankings, he went from 73 to 15 now. He's 15th in the top 100 baseball rankings as of yesterday. So there's a reason why the Yankees don't want to trade him for guys. Why you don't want to trade him for Dylan Cease, who's not as good as Corbin Burns anyway. So I don't question Dylan Cease's durability. I question his consistency. You can have a 2.5 ERA 1 year and then a 5 ERA. We were pounding Rodon for having a bad ERA. We were pounding Garrett Cole for having a mid-3 ERA in his worst year here. So take that stuff with a grain of salt. But let me know what your thoughts are on all this stuff. There's a lot of news here. And the other piece of news, Eduardo Escobar, infielder, had signed a deal with Toronto Blue Jays. So they've added another incremental piece to their offense. They've added Justin Turner last week, Eduardo Escobar. They've already added IKF. They re-signed Kevin Kiermaier. So, and it looks like Alek Manoah is healthy and looks like he's in pretty good shape. So they're banking on a good year from him. Vlad Guerrero came back in fantastic shape, as did Bo Bichette. So things to look forward to in Toronto. But I'm still running the gun with the Yankees here. I don't think any team in the American League has improved as much as the Yankees have. So that's my cheering crowd in the background, by the way. So, but that's what I got for you right now. Okay, Arty Moreno's crazy. I want to know what your thoughts are. Carlos Rodon is fit, in shape, and tossing darts. And that's exactly what we need him throwing gas right now. It's 97, 98. Power lefty. He strikes guys out with high strikeouts, high fastballs up in the zone when he's on the money. And if we can get that type of production from Carlos Rodon here, it's going to be a heck of a lot different looking rotation. Heck of a lot different rotation. I don't care if they don't get Snell. I don't care if they don't get Montgomery. I don't care if they didn't get Yamamoto. I think the Yankees rotation is going to be just fine. Let me know what your thoughts are one way or the other. Anything else comes out today, you're going to get it. Talk to you later.